You ever get that feeling that your digital life is just an open book? Well, today we're going to change that. We're not just talking about cybersecurity in some abstract way. No, we're actually going to start building your digital fortress, one brick at a time. Consider this your go-to guide for taking back control of your online world.
Okay, so think about the last time you sent an email or a message. You type it out, you hit send, and poof, it's gone. But where did it go? I mean, what kind of wild journey did that little piece of information take to get from your screen to someone else's? Figuring that out is the real first step to securing it.
All right, so before we can start building walls and posting guards around our data, we got to understand the lay of the land, right? You have to map the territory first. So let's start with our first section, the digital superhighway.
You know, we talk about the cloud all the time, but honestly, that's a little misleading. The internet isn't some fluffy, magical thing floating up in the sky. It's actually a lot more physical than you might think. It's this massive, global network of cables and servers. It's basically a gigantic, invisible superhighway that all of our information travels on every single day.
So how does your data actually travel on this highway? Well, it doesn't just hop in a big truck and go. Instead, your device is like a super efficient packer. It breaks your message down into thousands of tiny little pieces called packets. Then each and every one of those packets gets stamped with a destination address. And from there, devices called routers act like the postal workers of the internet, directing each packet along the fastest route possible. And then, and this is the amazing part, at the other end, they are all perfectly reassembled in the right order. It's this incredible, high-speed delivery service happening millions of times a second.
Okay, so our data is zipping across this huge public highway in thousands of tiny little pieces. On one hand, that's crazy efficient, but on the other, it also means it's pretty exposed out there. So how do we protect it on its journey? Well, it's time to build our defenses.
And this, right here, is where cybersecurity comes into play. It's the official name for everything we're about to talk about. Building the walls, posting the guards, and creating secret codes for our digital fortress. It's all about defending against attacks, damage, or basically anyone trying to get in where they're not supposed to be.
Now, a strong fortress isn't just about having high walls. It's really built on three core principles. And in the industry, this is known as the CIA triad. And no, not that CIA. This stands for confidentiality, which is pretty straightforward, keeping your secrets secret. Then there's integrity, making sure your data hasn't been messed with or changed. And finally, availability, which means you can actually get to your data when you need to. Just about every security measure out there is designed to protect at least one of these things.
Of course, every fortress has its challengers. In our digital world, there are countless threats out there, constantly poking and prodding for a weakness, just trying to find a way inside. So let's meet a couple of the most common attackers you're going to find waiting at the gate.
First up, we've got malware. You can think of this as the digital version of a saboteur or a vandal. The name is literally short for malicious software, and it's any program, you've probably heard of viruses or ransomware, that's built specifically to sneak into your system and just cause chaos, whether that's stealing your data or locking it all up and holding it for ransom.
But here's the good news. For every attacker, there's a defense. The second a threat like that shows up, we need to be ready to respond. So it's time to put the shields up. What's our first line of defense against something nasty like malware?
Meet the firewall. If malware is the intruder trying to sneak past the guards, the firewall is your high-tech gatekeeper. It stands right at the border between the big public internet highway and your private network, and its whole job is to inspect all the data packets trying to get in. If it sees anything that looks suspicious or malicious, it just blocks it. It is, quite literally, the wall of your digital fortress.
You can really see the constant tug of war here. Malware's entire goal is to get in and cause some kind of harm. The firewall's entire purpose for existing is to stand guard at that gate and keep those very threats out. It's this endless battle happening right at the edge of your digital property.
But what happens if an attacker doesn't try to bash down the gate? What if they try to trick you into just opening it for them? Well, that's phishing. It's an attack that's all about deception. You know, that urgent email that looks like it's from your bank with a sketchy link, or a fake login page that looks real. They're all designed to fool you into willingly handing over the keys to the castle. So how in the world do you defend against an attack that targets your secrets directly? You fight secrets with better secrets. And that's encryption. It's the process of taking your perfectly readable data and using a secret key to scramble it into unreadable code. So even if a phishing attack works and a thief manages to steal your information, without that one specific key to unlock it, all they've got is a bunch of useless gibberish.
So look at the difference in strategy here. Phishing is all about tricking you into giving away your secrets, but encryption is designed to make those secrets completely useless if they're ever stolen in the first place. It protects the information itself, even if it ends up outside your fortress walls.
Look, firewalls and encryption are incredibly powerful. They're absolutely essential tools, but they're not the whole story. Not even close. The strongest gate and the most complicated secret code in the world don't mean a thing if the person in charge is careless. Your awareness, your skepticism, your habits, these are the most powerful defenses you will ever have. You are the commander of this fortress. Ultimately, that digital highway out there is carrying your most valuable information, and the fortress that's built to protect it, it's under your command. Knowing the threats and understanding your defenses is the first and most critical step. So the only question left to ask is this: are your shields up?